What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another Clash Mini video on the channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best deck, in my opinion, inside of Clash Mini. So as you can see here, we have 39 win streak right now with this Barbarian King deck. A quick rundown: Barbarian King, Electric Wizard. It is back and it is furious. The main reason why it's in this deck is to counter Archer Queens. Then you have an Archer, you have a Guard, you have a Barbarian, and you have a Mine. All right, versus Archer Queen. Now here's where the deck gets interesting, because the Electric Wizard finally has its time to shine. Make sure that your board is clear. Get out an Electric Wizard, get out a Miner, get out an Archer. This is where you want to get out these units. Electric Wizard, Miner, everything is good for round number 1. Archer as well. The main thing you want to focus on is a 1-star Archer, the first star ability, and a Miner, or you can go for an Electric Wizard and a Miner, or an Electric Wizard and an Archer in this matchup. The key units in this matchup are Archer, Electric Wizard, and Miner. Now, in round number 2, you want an Archer, a Miner, and a 1-star Electric Wizard. The reason why you want a 1-star Electric Wizard is because your Electric Wizard needs to hit 3 units. If it can hit 3 units, it will more than likely clip an Archer Queen in round number 2, and it will do massive damage, because with the Barbarian King's ability, it does 4 damage to each unit, and it will do 3 units as well. So Archer getting a lot of value in the back line, Barbarian King getting a lot of value in the front line. Then you have the Miner for the back line as well, and your Electric Wizard will take care of business as well. Now, in round number 3, you want a 1-star Electric Wizard. Okay, the first star ability, a 2-star Archer, the first and the third ability. Now, this is where the deck gets really, really nice, because now your Archer is going to really ramp up and whittle things down for your Electric Wizard to just absolutely pop them when it ultimates. Then, you want a 1-star Miner as well. The first star ability on the Miner, it's going to get Backstab. So, also, as you can see my positioning, my Barbarian King is all the way on the left and my Miner is all the way on the right. The reason why is because if his Archer Queen is in the back lane and it's facing my Barbarian King, okay, if it's on the complete opposite side, it will be turned so that when my Miner hits it, it will hit it in the back and get full value. That is very, very important. In round number 4, you want to focus on getting a 1-star E-Wizard, a 3-star Archer, and a 3-star Miner. This is going to get you massive value in round number 4, and it should be able to pop off and clear out the Archer Queens. If you are not able to win in round number 4 and it's gonna go to round number 5, do not worry. In round number 5, the deck really ramps up. All right, in round number 5, 2-star Electric Wizard, the 1-star ability and the 3rd-star ability, a 3-star Archer, a 3-star Miner, and a Guard or a Barbarian. Right now, you're just going to absolutely plunder everything. You want to make sure you kill his Giant Skeleton if he has one, or kill his frontline troops, so that your Electric Wizard can stun his Archer Queen for 2 seconds, or stun his Musketeer for 2 seconds, and get massive value that way. You will absolutely obliterate everything on the board. If it goes to round number 5, it is your victory, because this deck is very, very strong versus Archer Queen in round number 5. In round number 1 versus a Countess deck, you want to primarily focus on getting a 1-star Barbarian, your 2nd-star ability, and a Guard. The key units in this matchup are going to be a Barb and a Miner, but you're not going to get your Miner until later on. The key focus here is to get out your trap in round number 2. So if you have an Electric Wizard or you have a Archer, you might want to sacrifice round number 1 to make sure you get out those units, because round number 2, the most important thing is going to be to get your trap for the Countess, so you're able to trap her in the corner and do massive damage. Now, in round number 2, your main focus here is to get the trap. As you can see, Electric Wizard, Archer, and a Barbarian in the corner. I didn't get a Guard, no big deal here. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I didn't want to use my reroll, so I got a Barbarian with a 2nd-star ability, because the main thing right now is the trap. I also won round number 1, so it allowed me to do this. 1-star Barbarian with the second ability, Guard, Archer, and E-Wizard is your optimal setup, but this setup also works. As you can see, you're easily able to take down your opponent, and let me tell you something, you might lose round number 2 because you do this setup, because you had to do that with your Barbarian, but that is completely okay, because the main focus now is you have an extra reroll in your hand to use for this next round, and that is going to be round number 3. In round number 3, 3-star Barbarian is what you're kind of gonna try to go for. Most of the time you're not gonna be able to get it, but that is okay. Guard, Archer, E-Wizard, and Miner is also what you want here. Guard needs to be in your amp because you really need to get the trap with the Guard. You want the Barbarian to be beefy, to do all the damage as possible, but if you can't get a Barbarian 3-star, remember we also said the Miner needs to get upgraded as well because it is a key unit. I lost round number 3 on purpose. I put it right in front of his mirror tile because I wanted to show you round number 4 gameplay in this matchup. So as you can see here, he easily takes me down, no big deal. In round number 4, you want to focus on a 3-star Barbarian, a Guard, an Archer, an E-Wizard, and a 3-star Miner. Remember to get that beautiful trap still, because the Countess needs to go to the trap. That is the main focus right now of the deck, and that is what you're going to need. As you can see, sometimes you might not be able to get exactly what you need, but you can upgrade your Archer as well. Don't really upgrade your Guard. You're not really going to need to upgrade your Guard, but make sure that you try to avoid his Prince, and then all you have to do is easily protect everything, and just like that, your Barbarian completely goes off and it wins the match for you. Huge key factors in this matchup are just make sure that you get that trap down as fast as possible. The optimal thing is to get the Guard out. If you lose round number 2, Guard, and you will be victorious. Barbarian King versus Barbarian King matchup. In round number 1, you want to focus on getting your Barbarian 1-star, the 2nd-star ability, and your Miner out. The key units in this matchup are going to be a Barbarian and a Miner to level up to get as massive value as you can. Try not to reroll here in round number 1. If you also have a Guard or if you have another 2-cost unit, it's not the end of the world, and you will be totally fine with 3 1-cost units. You might be able to pick up a win in round number 1. But now, in round number 2, you want to really try to get your Barbarian to get 2 stars, the 1st and the 2nd-star ability. Here's where you're going to use your rerolls to try to make this happen. This unit will absolutely melt your opponent. Also, you can try to get your Miner upgraded as well. Not the end of the world if you are able to get your Miner upgraded, but your Barbarian only 2 1-star. Your Miner 1-star with the 1st-star ability, the backstab, and your Barbarian, your 1st and your 2nd-star ability, and your Guard is the best start for round number 2. If you win round number 1, you don't really need to use your rerolls in round number 2. Maybe you can make something happen here. Maybe you can do what I did, get out an Electric Wizard, make something happen. It's not the end of the world. If you win round number 1, you can play around with round number 2. Now, in round number 3, you really want to focus on getting a 3-star Barbarian, a 2-star Miner, your 1st and your 3rd abilities, your Guard, and your Archer as well. Now here, this is crucial in this matchup because you want to try to make sure your Barbarian melts his units and your Miner also melts his units as well. If you're up 2-0 like me, you can play around, you can play a little greedy and not play as aggressive with the foot on the metal with your reroll, so you make sure you get your perfect combination in round 4 or in round number 5. You're able to take the win here in round number 3. If it somehow gets to round number 4, you're going to want a 3-star Barbarian, a 3-star Miner, a Guard, and a 2-star Archer, the 1st and the 3rd abilities. In round number 5, if it gets that far, a 3-star Barbarian, a 3-star Miner, a 3-star Archer, a Guard, and an Electric Wizard is going to be your best setup for round number 5. Round number 1 versus Monk. The main focus here is a 1-star Barbarian, the 2nd-star ability, and a Guard. You really want to focus on his Monk hitting your Guard and not your Barbarian King, especially in the middle. Round number 1 is a little bit more interesting. You can go for a Miner and really move the Monk maybe to the back. There's 100 things that you can do in round number 1, but it's pretty difficult to win round 1 versus a Monk. Try to get get as much value as you can with your Barbarian and your Guard. Try to nuke it down as fast as possible before it is able to do massive damage to you. The key units in this matchup are going to be a Barb, a Miner, and a Guard. Those are going to be your main damage dealers, but the Guard is actually going to be used for defense. It's the first time that a unit is going to be used for defense. That is a key unit in the deck. You will see very shortly what I am talking about the Guard being a key unit in this deck. In round number 2, you want to focus on a 2-star Barbarian, first and the second star ability, a Guard, a Miner, and an Archer. Miner to get to the back line and hit everything when it comes back. The 2-star Barbarian to really try to get as much damage out as possible. Then you got your Archer to nuke down the back line as well. And then your Guard is going to be here to kind of just soak anything. It could soak a Prince charge. It can soak a lot of things that are going to give them massive value in round number 2. Now, in round number 3, this is where the deck starts getting nice. You want a 2-star Barbarian, a first and the second ability. Then you want a 1-star Miner. You want a backstab on the Miner. You want your Guard to have 1 star, its 3rd star ability. You can also even get a 2-star Guard here, the first and the second star ability. And you want to get an Electric Wizard. You want to swap out your Archer for an Electric Wizard, but maybe not. You can also go with the option that I'm showing you on the screen as well. As you can see, his Monk's about to come up. It hits my Guard, but the Guard has a massive shield on it, and the Guard is just there to tank everything, and that is massive value from my Guard, allowing me to win round number 3 there. Now, round number 4, here's where things get interesting. You want a 2-star Barbarian, a first and the second ability on your Barbarian. You want a 2-star Miner, a first and a 3rd star ability on your Miner, so when it comes back, it can cleave everything down. You can also go for the second ability as well. If he has maybe 2 units in the back line, you can maybe go for that. A 2-star Guard, a first and the 3rd. You want to make sure your Guard is out in front so it tanks the shot of his Monk. Then you want an Archer and an Electric Wizard. Make sure your Barbarian can get back to his Prince if he is playing a Prince, and make sure your Guard is just soaking as much as humanly possible in the beginning, and then just get massive value with all of your other units flooding them. Alright, in round 5, if it does get here, you want a 3-star Barbarian, a 3-star Miner. These are going to absolutely obliterate your opponent's entire army. You want a 2-star Guard, a first and the 3rd ability. Like I said, in the front, make sure it doesn't get knocked back with the Prince. Make sure it takes the Monk's charge. Attack. That is the main thing of the Guard in this deck. Then you want a 1-star Archer, a 1st star ability, and you want an Electric Wizard. Barbarian King versus Shield Maiden. The main units you want here is a Barbarian and a Miner. They are going to do a massive amount of damage, but for round number 1, your best setup is going to be an Electric Wizard and a Miner. The reason why the Electric Wizard is so nice in round 1 is because the stun is actually huge, and it slows down if they have a P.E.K.K.A. or another unit. It really slows down the damage from them, and your Miner will take out their Archers or their Dark Goblin that could be potentially in the back. Your Electric Wizard and your Miner is going to be the bread and butter of your first round matchup. If you're able to get these, you should be able to defeat Shield Maiden in round number 1 pretty easily. They don't really have a counter for that if you have both of those. In round number 2 here, you want to go for a 1-star Barbarian, the 2nd star ability. You want your Miner, you want an Electric Wizard, and you want your Archer. The reason why is your Miner and your Archer are going to be going for their backline units. Your Electric Wizard is going to do a massive amount of damage, especially when it gets buffed up with your Barbarian King, and your Barbarian is going to do a massive amount of damage in the front line. The Barbarian King going to do a lot of work as well in the front line, and you pretty much just want to do as much damage as possible here in round number 2. It's a pretty hard matchup for you, but if you're able to get this setup in round number 2, you should be able to win in round number 2 and really put them on their heels going into round number 3. In round number 3, you want a 2-star Barbarian, the first and the second ability. You want a 1-star Miner, the 1st star ability. You want to get the backstab off because it is going to be in the back lane doing a massive amount of damage there. You want an Archer, a Guard, and an Electric Wizard. Here, the main thing is just getting your Barbarian King to super as fast as possible and trying to nuke down his Shield Maiden. That is the key. Now, as you can see in this video, I don't have minors really. I see that he has a P.E.K.K.A. and I see that he has a Mega Knight, so I'm trying to avoid using anything that's going to disallow my archer to get massive value. There's two ways to play this matchup. If he has two big beefy tanks in the back line that he's putting in the back line, you want your archer to get massive value, so you level your archer up first and you wait and you don't level up your miner as fast. That is how you play versus people who have these two beefy tanks. Now, going in to round number 4, you want a 2-star Barbarian, a 3-star Miner, a 1-star Archer, Guard, and an Electric Wizard. Your Miner is just going to go down there and do absolute massive work to his Archer, to his Dark Goblin, 2 backline troops. If he has 2 backline troops and he isn't really protecting them too much, this is where your Miner is going to shine. 3-star Barbarian, if you cannot get a 3-star Miner. 2-star Barbarian, very, very important here. And your Guard and your Electric Wizard going to do massive value. Your Guard is kind of just going to be in here just to do a little bit of work. In round number 5, if you so happen to get here versus a Shield Maiden deck, you want a 3-star Barbarian, a 3-star Miner, a 2-star Archer, the first and the third ability. You want a 1-star Guard, the first ability, and you want an E-Wizard. You can also opt to go for a 3-star Archer here instead of the first ability on the Guard. It really depends on what units he is playing. If he has a lot of backline units that aren't really getting taken out too fast, you might want to go with your Archer 3-star and leave your Guard at 0 stars. Thank you guys so much for watching this YouTube video. If you guys like this in-depth guide of the Barbarian King, let me know in the comments below. Hit a like, subscribe to the channel to be notified when we are live next with another new video. We did not go over the Royal Champion because unfortunately it just is not a good hero until level 10. So for that fact alone, most of you are never going to really play versus a Royal Champion that is super strong. But if you do play versus a Royal Champion, I would go with our Shield Maiden setup because that is probably the best thing you can do versus a Royal Champion, or even our Archer Queen setup would work as well. So thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see each and every single one of you guys next time.